Okay, so now we are going to do multiplication and division of decimals. Can you please write the heading and pause the video if you need to. So similarly to addition and subtraction, we need to write these out so they work for us. Now, the way we're going to do multiplication is we're going to forget about the decimal places until we get to the end. So if we write the biggest number on the top, so without the decimal place, so 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, multiplied by 0, 2, 3. Now we don't need to put the 0 down because that's the same as 23. But if you want to put the 0 in there, you can, of course. Now the 23 must be lined up with the units together. Okay, so that line has to line up and that line going from right to left. And now we're going to multiply like we've done previously. So 8 times 3 is 24. So we're going to put down our 4 and carry our 2. 8, 16. 7 3s are 21 plus 2 is 23. Put down the 3, carry the 2. 3 6s are 18 plus 2 is 20. Put down the 0, carry the 2. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 plus 2 is 17. Put down the 7, carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now, when we multiply the next one across, remember we're not actually multiplying by 2, we're multiplying by 20. But so we don't have, because this is like 23, but so we don't have to multiply by 20 every time, we put a 0 here, and that takes care of the 20, and we just multiply it now by 2. So we go 2 times 8 is 16. Put down the 6, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Put down the 5, carry the 1. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Put down the 3, carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. Put down the 1, carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And 2 times 1 is 2. Now, that got pretty complicated. I've gone straight in for a long one because I'm hoping you remember how to multiply. Okay, and all the numbers up here get confusing, so you really got to keep your mind on the ball. All right, so for going downwards now, we add. So that's why the lines have to be really clear, the rows. Columns, actually. 4 plus 0 is 4. 3 plus 6 is 9. 0 plus 5 is 5. 7 plus 3 is 10. Put down the 0, carry the 1. 7 plus 2 is 9. 5 plus 3 is 8. And 2 all by itself is 2. Now we're not finished because when we started, we had decimals. So what we want to do now is we want to go back up here and count how many decimal places there were altogether. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go backwards 5 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you need to write out what you think the answer is now. So it's going to be 28.90594. Okay, excellent. All right, that's a big whopping big multiplication one to start with. All right, let's have a look at a division one, which we kind of touched on the other day when we were doing the fractions. So whatever we're dividing by is going to go out the front. This time we do leave the decimal place. Okay, for our division. So let's have a go. This should be practice after what you did with fractions. So here we go, 8 into 54. So 6 8s are 48. That's the biggest you can get, so you need to put the 6 down. Now be careful. You want to put it here because the first thing you could do is go 8 into 5, doesn't go. So on top of the 5, you're saying nothing. It doesn't go anytime. That's why you have to go 8 into 54 then. If you go 8 into 54, you get 6. 6 times 8 is 48, but we have to get to 54. Okay, so there's 6 left over. Now, as we did last week, you put down the decimal place. 6 eighths are 48. We need to get to 54, so there's 6 remainder. Now, how many eighths in 68? 6. All right, so 8 eighths are 64. So we're going to go 8 times 8 is 64. Not finished, have to put another 0. 64 we're up to, but we need 66. We've got 2 left over. 8 into 20 goes twice. Oh, we have to keep going. 2 times 8 is 16. So there's 4 left over. And 8 into 40 goes 5 times. So there's not anything new there if you understood what we did last week with the fractions. Excellent. But what if we have a different amount of decimal places? So if we have a look at this one has got 3 decimal places. This one has got 2. Now what we have to do is we want whatever you're dividing by, so this number, to be a whole number. And to do that, we're going to put our decimal place, we're going to take it and we're going to go a couple of spaces till we get to the end of the number. So you've taken your decimal place and you've gone 1, 2. Now that means we've multiplied by 100, but you don't have to write that down. As long as you show me with your arrows that you're going to do the same over here. So we're going to do this and we're going to go 1, 2. Now that's still going to be a decimal, but that's okay because we just need the thing that is going to be out the front to be a whole number. And because you've done it to both sides, once you get the answer, that's just the answer. You don't have to do any more work. So whatever you're going to be dividing by needs to go out the front. So now this is not 0.06. It is a decimal place here, which is like saying 6.0, which is just 6. And that's what you're trying to do. You don't ever want to divide by a decimal. So now let's have a look here. We've gone 2 spots to the right. So this new number is 8935.6. And now we just divide like we normally do. I'm going to leave you to it. Have a look up here in a minute and see if you agree with me. Oh. All right, so when you finished, I got a reoccurring decimal at 0.26 dot. Okay, I'm not going to go over that because if you've mucked up, it's probably times table. So just rewind your video. If you've looked up to see you've got a different answer to me, just rewind your video and see if you can see where you made a mistake. The other thing is, if it might say to 2 decimal places. So if it says 2 decimal places, this, remember, is the same as 1489.266666. So if that's the case, your answer would be 1489.27, not 26 with the dot. Okay? All right, let's have a look at this one. I'm sorry about the shadow, but I think you can still see. All right, so the dividing is the one that we need to make a whole number. So this time we're going to go 1, 2, 3 spots. So if we come here, it's a bit different because, we haven't got another spot to go. So we are going to go another spot, which means this number is going to be all of that with a 0 on it. So it's like you've multiplied this by 1,000 to get it to be the whole number of 6. So you have to multiply this by 1,000. If you multiply it by 10, you'll move there. 100, you'll move there. So another space is going to mean that your number is 3219090. All right. So let's multiply. I'm going to leave you to it again. Come back and have a look. Lost what I'm up to. You're going to beat me for sure. 21. There we go. Okay, got a whole number. Hopefully you did too. Please look back on the video if you need to work out what's happened with yours. 2 to go. Okay, we're back to multiplication. We have 1 negative, 1 positive. So you do exactly what we just did before, but you've got a negative and positive for your answer. So just for the start, forget about the negative or the positive. And remember, forget about when you're multiplying, just straight forget about the decimal places and we'll put them in later. So this is going to become 38 times, and if we've got 005, you don't bother with the 00s out the front. All right, so this becomes a nice simple one to begin with. So we have 38 by 5, 8 5s are 40, put down the 0, carry the 4, 3 5s are 15, plus 4 is 19. Okay, so our final answer is going to be, now this is what we forget, a negative and a positive makes a negative, so we want to put that in there. Now, we'll put down the number, but with multiplication we've got to check with our decimal places. Let's see how many we've got. So we have 1, 2, 3. So if we started here, we have to go 3 decimal places to the left. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Now we can't just leave that looking like that. Okay, we're going to go minus. Now our decimal is going to go in here. So what goes on the left? What goes before that? It must be a 0. So the answer is 0.19. Now do I need to put the 0 on the end? No, I don't. So that's your answer. Now, I'm going to do one more because you might see this language. Find the quotient of. That's just another way of saying division. And you can see it's a minus and a negative and a negative question. So what did we just say about negatives, what we just learnt? Go for the one that you need to divide by, and you need to make that a whole number. So we only need to go 1 spot to the right. Go back to the first part of the question, go 1 spot to the right. Now, I'm going to do this bit straight away this time. We have a negative and a negative, so we're going to end up with a positive answer. We are going to divide by 4, and we divide by 4 into what? This has now become a little decimal place in here, so it's going to be 0.15. And that will give you exactly the same answer as 0.015 divided by 0.4. All right, all we've done is the same thing to each side, or each part of the question. All right, 4 into 0 doesn't go. Put down the decimal place. 4 into 1 doesn't go. Put down the 0. Carry the 1. 4 into 15 goes 3 times. 3 4s are 12. But we want to get to 15, so there's 3 left over. 4 into 30 goes 7 times. 7 fours are 28. 2 left over. 4 into 20 goes 5 times. So your final answer is plus, because it's a negative and a negative, so we don't need to write plus, 0.0375. Okay, can I please get you to write these questions down, or you can check on Compass lesson plan, and you can now do 4.6. Thank you.